Hello, America. I'm coming to you today from southern Mississippi, and I've got some tutorials for you on how to paint and how to do a liquid pour. Alright, so the first thing that you need is paint. You can get multiple different types of paint at the store. You're going to need some flowart. This is about $6 at your hardware store. You can get it at Lowe's or you can get it online. Although I don't recommend buying it online because I did that and they showed up with the lids not quite screwed on. So that was not very cool. But anywho. So you go ahead and save you all your plastic cups that you can find, or go buy a set of plastic cups, and you're gonna do about 50-50 with your paint. Since blue is my favorite color, we're gonna start with blue, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put a good bit of blue in there, and however much blue you put, you want to pay attention to exactly how much you're putting in there. And you're going to put exactly that same amount of flowart. Alright? And then you're going to have to mix it for 3 minutes. Okay? So go ahead and shake up your flowart a little bit. And you pour exactly the same amount. And then you take a nice stiff brush and get one that can really get down in the crevices, like this one. It's at an angle, so that's going to be able to get real good in the corners. And then normally if I wasn't recording, I would go hit the button for 3 minutes and make sure that I don't get, lazy. So, anywho, one of the things that you want to do before you do your pour is go ahead and look and see if there's anything in your refrigerator that you can clean out, like small bottles, and especially if they've got a nice tight lid on them so that you can shake it up, and or any cups that you had in the car, recycle those. Hold on to any Burger King cups that you have or Taco Bell cups. They're perfect for the job. And we still have 2 minutes, so we're just gonna go ahead and really stir it up. Make sure you get the sides and the bottom. Although this is acrylic paint, I really like to use ink better. It looks a lot better whenever you're done, and I've just had better results with ink. So if you have any ink, then you might want to try ink instead. But if you have acrylic, then you can use acrylic. You can also use other additives if you don't want to use flowart, or you can't find any flowart where you're from. You can use flaxseed oil, or you can even use silicone. I have some silicone around here somewhere. I really don't like the silicone though. It leaves little holes, and if you seal it without getting the excess silicone off, it can cause issues and drying. And so oils are always more troublesome. They take longer to dry. Flaxseed oil is really good though. It's going to be a drying oil. You don't want to just go willy-nilly grabbing any oil that you see around your house and mixing it with your paint, because not all oil is drying. But flaxseed oil, walnut oil, and there's a couple others that dry well. You can usually get a discount on your flaxseed oil if you go to your local health food store. My local health food store, they never can seem to sell this stuff. So every time I go in there, it's already expired, and all I have to do is ask for a discount, and they pretty much will give me 60% off or something if it's already expired, which I'm not eating it. I'm gonna put it in my paint. You can use it for oil paint, or you can use it for acrylic paint, or you can use it for an acrylic pour, and it comes out looking kind of like marble whenever you pour it on your canvas. It's really, really pretty. And then after it dries, you can use resin that you can get resin at Walmart now. I don't know about everywhere, but I live in a pretty small town and they just recently started carrying it, and I'm so excited because normally I have to drive an hour or order it online, and I don't ever really know what quality of resin that I'm getting. So the stuff I bought at Walmart was about $18, and usually after traveling for an hour, it's locked up at Michael's. They have to go get a key and unlock it, and it's $30, and they don't even give you as much as Walmart gives you for $18. And the one time that I did use it, it did not really dry that good. Gave me a lot of trouble, and of course I used my torch. You want to make sure that you have a torch. If you don't have a torch, then you can use a blow dryer, or it's just not going to work quite as good. So you want to go ahead and take the time. Alright, so I've been mixing this for a good 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes now. So this should be good. And then go ahead and get your other color, and I really like the ocean colors, but gold is also really pretty, or silver, so much fun. Okay, so I get my Taco Bell cup, right, and my silver paint, and just do about as much as you can do without using up all your paint. You want to save some for your later projects. And then get your Floetrol and take a real close look as to how much you used, and try to use about the same amount. And if you're using resin, if you're going to mix your paint with resin, you want to go ahead and measure it exactly. Don't eyeball it. Use your measuring cups. Most of the resin comes with measuring cups. If it doesn't, if you buy resin at Walmart and it does not come with a measuring cup, then you want to go ahead and purchase one specifically for this, because you're never ever going to want to put your food into any kind of container that you've used for painting, obviously. So go ahead and do that, and then find another good, usually I try to get a tilted brush. It's gonna have a little tilt to it right there, so that you can get down in those corners and really mix it up. So let me see what time it is. Alright, so I always try to set an alarm and make sure that I mix it for the full amount of time, and make sure that you scrape around the edges to leave no stone unturned. Okay, and in the meantime, you can just kind of think about how you want to do your pour. Do you want to pour it over something else and try and make a pattern? So if you do have maybe like 5 or 6 different things that you can pour over. So for example, if you have an old strainer, you can use an old strainer. If you have an old Coca-Cola bottle, you can cut it in half and use the bottom and pour over it. I really like this. This is an antique candle holder. And if you flip it over, it's got multiple little rings, and it's perfect for pouring paint over, and it makes the cutest little flower design. But if you're not looking to go for the flower design, maybe you're looking to go for something a little bit more retro, you know, you could just do a dirty pour, which you still have to mix everything separately even if you're doing a dirty pour. So you go ahead and mix up all your paints and as you're mixing, you just you can pour each individual color into another larger container. So if you aren't a hoarder and you don't have 100 spaghetti containers laying around, then you might want to go to the refrigerator, like I mentioned before, and find a big container. I use my yogurt container or my coffee container or something of that nature that is gonna have it's gonna have a lid so that you can shake it up if you want to, which with your dirty pour usually you don't shake it. So you just pour, you can pour it from low or you can pour it from way up high, and the higher that you pour it from into the big cup, the more cells that you're gonna get. So if you want it to look more like two solid colors, then you can pour it from low. In other words, if this was my cup that was empty, I would pour it from low. If you want to pour it from high, it's going to give you more cells. And you know, if you have trouble, if this is your first time doing this, then you might want to find some lids and put them underneath your canvas. I have a setup where my easel's sitting on my desk, and then I have the little lids to my coffee containers or yogurt containers or whatever I had sitting around. You know, part of being an artist is being a hoarder. You have to hoard every lid and every container that comes through the kitchen. Just go ahead and make yourself a little recycle bin for all your goodies, and then you won't be, oh, I should have bought this and I should have bought that. And you know, it can be a lot more costly to do one little project if you don't have any of this stuff just sitting around. So anywho, it has been 4 minutes now that I've been stirring the silver, and it looks pretty good. Let me show y'all. Can you see it? I don't know if you can. Anywho, so I've got blue and I've got silver, and maybe we'll do a little black. Alright, do some black. So this black, if you get, now if you're using apple barrel, it's really cheap paint. So the 50-50 ratio is going to be closer. But if you're using this really thick paint, then you're not going to have to go quite 50-50. You're going to use maybe 25% paint, and then go ahead and put like another twice as much Floetrol as you will paint, because this paint is so much thicker. As you can see, it's a lot thicker. So then you just go ahead and shake up your Floetrol a little bit, and there's about that much paint in there. So we're gonna put double the amount, or almost double the amount, okay? Because you don't want it to be too liquidy, so you don't want to go full double the amount, but you kind of just do it like you would your pancake batter. Alright, and then you find a good brush and mix it up. And even though the Floetrol is white and the paint is black, it still usually makes a really nice black, dark black color. Regardless, it doesn't come out too cloudy, which is awesome. But this is a lot thicker, so I suggest that if you're going to use the see, this is Daler-Rowney. I thought that this was Liquitex, but Daler-Rowney is also a very good brand, and it's very thick, and it really adheres to the canvas a lot better. So if you're going to lay down a background layer on your canvas, you want to go ahead and make sure that the background layer is prepped. Okay, today I'm gonna do a pour over this painting I've already done before. Now, I really love this one, but it's just not really popping. So I think that we can get some better colors, better contrasting colors. And so we're gonna do black and silver and blue. And I got about another 2 minutes to mix this, and so you just keep on mixing at least 3 minutes. Make sure that you mix it for at least 3 minutes, and if you still feel like it's really thick, then you know, and maybe you're like me and you're starting to get a touch of arthritis, that's why you get the ones with the lids, so that if you get too tired of mixing like this, you can put the lid on and shake it. Alright? Still want to shake it for the same amount of time that you would normally stir it for, but it does make it a little bit easier. You can actually hand it to your kids, your neighbors, your lover. Hey honey, will you please shake this for me? And they usually don't mind helping out. So go ahead and put the whole family to work. Alright, and then make sure that you don't forget to scrape the sides. Did I tell y'all to scrape the sides? I know I did. Alright, scrape the sides. Make sure you get all that thick paint and just kind of see if it's looking okay, if it's watery, or if it's thick, if it's chunky. You know, we don't want no chunky paint. Alright. And then I'm not sure what we're gonna do. So this last painting here, this painting right here, this was a dirty pour, which means that I poured all the paint that I mixed into one cup, and then I flipped it over on top of this. And I really like that. It really looks cool. It looks kind of, you know, metallic. If you put some metallic colors in there, sometimes it comes back looking really like marbled. It's really pretty. And anywho, so today we're going, I just don't know what I want to do. Alright, I guess we're going to do a marbled one. Alright, let me see. And you always want to have your cup with your water in it so that you can put your paintbrushes in it. But whatever the background color is, which on this one I really want my background color to be silver. So that is going to be the cup that I use for the dirty pour. So if you want little bitty cells, then you pour from low. But if you want large cells, or a lot of cells, then you're going to want to pour from high. So we just start to pour. And if you want to do like something like a wingspan, there's a couple things that you can do. You can either do it in layers and like pour it on there really lightly so that you can actually see the layers in the cup. Now when you do it from a high, all that paint's going to go straight to the bottom, and you're not going to be able to do a very good wingspan like that. So that's not really what we're going to go for today. But I really do love those wingspan paintings. I love the way it looks, and I love the end. The way it looks at the end, it just kind of looks like a bird with his wings open. Okay, and then some people will pour it from one cup into another cup, and then from there. So I've never done that before, but there's a first time for everything, so let's try it. So we're gonna pour the paint out into another cup, and you can see how it's from high, from low, from high, from low. We're just trying everything today. Okay, and then once you have your paint all in one cup, I'm gonna let you take a look. Cool, right? Alright, then what you're gonna do is you're going to flip it over right on top of the canvas. Alright, hold on just one second. There's the canvas. Are y'all ready for this? Okay, we're gonna flip it over. Alright, and then we're gonna let it settle. Okay, let it settle. Alright, and then I already have set up my little collection plates, as I call them, to collect the paint, but I don't have quite enough, so let's go ahead and that's oil paint. We don't want to mix oil and acrylic. That's another big no-no. So we're gonna go ahead and grab another little collection plate from right over here. Alright, and this is just so experimental. The whole thing of pouring paint goes against everything I learned in school. They don't teach you how to pour paint in school. They teach you how to paint it with a paintbrush. Alright, so then you just kind of lift it up and let it roll. You can lift it up and let it roll. Alright, and lift it up and let it roll. Okay, and with Floetrol, you absolutely do not have to use a torch. But if you don't use a torch, you might get some bubbles that don't pop. And you don't want that, because then you're gonna have to sand it at the end. See how there's still bubbles popping everywhere? Alright, so immediately, you're gonna get your blowtorch, and you're going to try and do this with one hand. Alright, I literally had to do that with my chin. Alright. So then you just torch it a little bit. Not too much. Okay, just a tiny bit to get those excess bubbles out. And then we're going to roll it. Roll it over to the left. Okay. And as you can see, it really did form cells. Even though, so I guess the whole pouring it from high really does work, which I saw that on a YouTube video of another lady doing experiments. She had done multiple pours in one day. All right, look at that. That is so beautiful. Ooh, I love it. Ooh, I really love it. Alright, and then as you can see, it's collecting in the collection plate, and therefore, if it doesn't come out just the way I like it, I can take some of the paint out of the collection plate and fix it up. Which you can see, it doesn't look that much different than the previous layer. So I really did not dislike the first piece. I just wanted a little bit more. So then just tilt it. Watch it roll. And then tilt it. And I usually have a mirror. I like to put a mirror back on the back wall so that whenever I'm doing this, I can look and see if I've got the entire other side covered. Because, I mean, what fun is that if you only halfway got it done? You know, it's not gonna look good if it's not 100% finished. So we're just gonna spin it around and double check, and it looks like it did work. We did get the whole other side. Wonderful. Alright, and then I really like that. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks almost like turquoise or something. So with that being said, I just want to make a shout out to Trini Gelini and thank her for encouraging me to get out there and do a YouTube video. And I hope that all of you learned lots of great stuff from this video. If this is your first time trying to do a liquid pour, feel free to reach out to me and I will send you all the information you need. Alright, y'all have a great day.